Hello, everyone! Today we are going to talk about how to express facts, possibilities, and imaginary situations and their results. These are called conditional sentences.
We will learn how to recognize and understand what a conditional sentence is. Also, how to differentiate between the different uses of conditionals in English and how to create these sentences according to their structure.
So, first of all, what is a conditional sentence? It is a sentence that indicates that if something happens, another thing happens too as a result of it. In order to create conditional sentences, we must use the word if because it creates the idea of a condition.
Now, how do we create a conditional sentence? Well, conditional sentences consist of two clauses or parts. The first one, including the word if, is called condition clause, and the second one is called a result clause. So in the first part, we create the condition, and in the second part, we mention the result of that condition. These two parts are divided by a comma.
It is important to mention that these parts of the sentence can change their places. So we can put the result clause first and then the condition clause. If we do this, the meaning won't change. However, be careful. When we change their places and if is in the middle, we no longer have to write a comma. It is not necessary anymore.
Now, let's talk about the different types of conditionals. We have zero conditional, first conditional, and second conditional. Let's start with zero conditional. This is used to talk about general truths or facts and things that have happened or are very likely to happen. When talking about its structure, we have many options and combinations. We can use any of the different varieties as long as we follow the main use of the conditional, which is to talk about general truths or facts. Let's analyze one example. It reads, "If you are not passing your exams, you are not studying much." In this case, we are using present continuous in the condition clause, as well as in the result clause. This is possible thanks to the idea we propose. Here we can see how logic takes place to connect with the idea of saying a general truth. If you are not passing your exams, it means that you are not dedicating too much time to studying. Now, what about first conditional? This is different from zero conditional. In this case, we will use it to talk about possibilities in the future and results that are likely to occur. As the idea and use is different, also is the structure. In this case, we use the present simple in the condition clause and the future simple, that is to say, will or won't, in the result clause. For example, if I get a new job, I will buy a motorcycle. Here, there is a possibility of me buying a motorcycle because now I have a new job. Look at this second example. It says, "Next year I will travel to Peru if I get my passport." Notice how we changed the order of the sentence, but the idea continues being the same and we do not include a comma anymore. So far we have seen that the zero conditional is used to talk about facts. The first conditional is used to talk about possibilities in the future. But what about the second conditional? The second conditional is used to refer to imaginary situations in the present or future. When we use it, it is because the results are very unlikely to happen because we are imagining it. So, as the usage is different, we have to change the structure to express this new idea. Let's take a look at it. In the first part of the sentence, we write if, followed by the past simple. Then, in the second part, we write would, followed by the bare infinitive of the verb. For example, I would be famous if I were talented enough to dance. This means that I am not talented, therefore I am not famous. I am imagining the situation because it is not real in the present. In conclusion, we can summarize each conditional in a few words. Zero conditional, facts. First conditional, possibilities. Second conditional,
imaginary situations. Moving on. What about modal verbs? Sometimes they can replace main verbs in the result clauses. When using the zero conditional, we can use must, can, or should. For the first conditional, we use modals of possibility, may and might. And finally, could and might are used with the second conditional. Here you have example sentences to see how they can be used in the sentences.
Now, let's check your understanding. Read the following sentences and decide if they are zero, first, or second type of conditionals. Good luck. Thank you.